Hello, everybody, and welcome in to episode 91 of the Dorton and Duckett Debate podcast. Lucas Dorton, Nick Duckett here. We have a new guest joining the show, folks. And if you are one that follows Townball, I'm sure you've heard the name a few times in these last few weeks. But John Bezdicek joining the show, man. How you doing? Thanks for coming on, dude.
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, Unbelievable run. First off, I want to say congrats to you and your teammates for going on the run that you did and coming away with the Class C title. I mean, uh, that's probably going to be a memory that I could only imagine you're going to have for the rest of your lifetime. Tell your kids, your grandkids, your great grandkids, tell your dog too. But yeah, that's awesome. It's awesome. Um, Sweet man. So we'll just kind of dive into it. So a couple of questions I kind of like to ask people to get to know them a little bit about their baseball fandom and kind of where it comes from. Makes it a little more fun here. There's a few different ones. So the first one is, who is your favorite MLB team? I assume the Twins, but I gotta ask.
Yeah, no, definitely the Twins is sometimes it can be hard, but definitely the Twins. They got an exciting future, I think. So a lot of young guys that are playing well. So that's definitely the hometown team for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm a Rockies fan, so I can relate to the struggle, to the struggle. Sure, it's pretty brutal out there. Um, and then who is your all-time favorite Minnesota Twin?
Um, I think it's gonna have to be Mauer just growing up. I mean, him and Morneau, those two were just the people you kind of idolized, or at least I did, growing up watching those games, listening to them on the radio. So definitely him and Morneau were kind of the go-to guys, the guys you looked up, guys you wanted to, be like when you
Yeah,
were playing ball.
absolutely, absolutely. And then two more I have for you. Who is your favorite, like all-time non-Minnesota Twins? Like maybe they played for them at one point, but they're kind of like predominantly known for playing somewhere else most of their career.
Yeah, I mean, I think initially my favorite pitcher was like Kershaw. I think that's someone as a lefty
Yeah,
tried to pitch like him, wasn't as good. But that's kind of my that was probably my favorite pitcher, him and then Trevor Bauer before
sure.
he got all the heat and everything. He was someone I followed and just kind of his both those guys have a lot of knowledge that, you listen to their interviews, stuff like that. They can add a lot to just kind of the mental game and everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Trevor Bauer, man, it's crazy watching his YouTube videos too. How many different pitch grips he has for like throwing the same pitch, but like
Yeah.
he changes his fingers just slightly and it does something completely different. But it's the same. I don't know. I love watching it, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. Um, and then kind of a tougher one. So if you don't know it, that's okay. But it was brought up a few episodes ago by one of our guests. But do you have a favorite, like just completely obscure Minnesota Twins player or baseball player? Like maybe someone that never did anything in their career, but you just really appreciated for whatever reason?
Um, I don't know if I appreciated it, but I guess the most random player I can think of was Nishioka. I don't know if he did a whole lot,
Oh,
but that's the
okay.
first one that comes to mind.
Sure.
Uh,
Broken flag.
the first name I probably would butcher, but
Yeah.
The Yushi, I believe.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I
That's
remember
cool.
him.
It's cool. Awesome. Awesome, man. Well, that's cool. Yeah, just kind of like to get to know who we're chatting with a little bit and where their baseball fandom comes from. So, I guess first question I have for you is talk to me a little bit about your baseball kind of growing up, starting when you were super young. What got you into baseball initially, and kind of the progression of your baseball career.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess I came from a family with three older sisters, and then I have a twin brother. So definitely the sisters weren't big into baseball or anything like that. My dad is kind of a fan of baseball, and me and my brother kind of picked it up at a young age. And it's a catch partner you have every day, so it's easy to go out in the backyard, play catch, stuff like that. And yeah, just kind of growing up through middle school, we played on the same teams together, and got to high school, played on the same team. So um, sorry about that.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, so I guess my baseball experience has been great because my brother, I was a pitcher for most of my life. My brother was a first baseman and a pitcher, so we can relate to a lot. We're both lefty. We're both weird in the fact that we pitch lefty and we hit righty, so it's kind of unique there. And
Yeah.
we were lucky enough to go play college at the same or Division II Southwest Minnesota State. We both played there together. So it was a good 4 years. And then yeah, from there went transferred with the COVID year. Went to Kennesaw State University, played there for a year, had a good time, made a regional that never thought, I didn't have many winning seasons ever
Pitched,
playing
pitched against
baseball.
Dylan Cruz.
Yeah, 0 for 1.
Nah, hey,
That's
there we go.
that's the only good thing you can say from that game. So
I think I've looked. I think it was like an inning, 2/3, 2 earned or something like that. That's
yeah,
hey,
yeah. The
that's
rest of
not
it
that
was
bad.
pretty rough, but no, yeah. So played there, got an opportunity to play some indie ball for about a year and a half, and I guess throughout college played some Northwoods League stuff. So I mean, I've been blessed to have baseball kind of every summer, with meeting a lot of different people, a lot of different connections, and kind of doing all that.
Yeah.
So you have a twin brother, you said.
Yes.
Is it Blake Snell?
No.
I swear to you, when we were watching you pitch at the stadium, like, I think this is Blake Snell out here on the mound, man. I'm telling you, he looks just like him on the mound. He's mowing down these hitters. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but I swear you look like Blake Snell.
Thanks.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So your brother played first base and pitch. So were you always a pitcher, or did you ever dabble in any other positions then?
Yeah, I mean, in high school, I like played outfield, first base a little bit, and just pitched. When I got to college, two-wayed a little bit, but that got shut down pretty quick, which made sense after I was like, I think 1 for 20 in fall ball. So, which turned out for the better.
Yeah.
It was good. Something, I mean, it was a little boring at first, going from, used to playing the field to kind of sitting and watching, but you get used to it and you get to enjoy the game from kind of a different view and be a little more patient.
Do you
Yeah.
ever hit in Townball?
I think I had 8 at bats this year.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
probably more than Lucas.
yeah,
It
I didn't
is.
really care if I hit. We have plenty of great hitters. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if I was there and we're up 10 runs, I'd love to get an at bat, but I didn't really mind if, um, I even played. I was just kind of there to hang out and be with the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to me a little bit. You kind of mentioned it going from high school to SMSU, then to Kennesaw State with the COVID year. What was that process like? Kind of being at the same place for 4 years, and then that opportunity to go play Kennesaw State. Did a coach reach out? Did you reach out, or kind of what was that process like for you?
Yeah, so I was I didn't really know what to do. I mean, I put my name in the portal. Um, I knew I wanted to play somewhere, hopefully Division I. If
Yeah.
that didn't work out, probably a high D2 somewhere. I was talking to a couple of those. But like my connection to Kennesaw was a former. So I played for the Wilmer Stingers in the Northwoods League, and one of their
Sure.
former coaches they coached together. One was at Mankato, one was at Miami, Ohio, and they coached together. And they had, I don't know, the owner through Wilmer, he kind of had the connection. And so the pitching coach for at Kennesaw State was originally at Miami, Ohio, and he reached out to me. The Wilmer Stingers owner, Ryan Vaz, is a great guy. He kind of threw my name that direction.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to Miami, Ohio, talking to other schools, but I was kind of set going there because I had a little bit of an arm injury. So I was like,
Okay.
I need a guy that knows my situation, knows that like, I'm not going to go there and just kind of get cut in the fall.
Right.
And he gave me the opportunity. I was close to committing to Miami, Ohio, and he left to go to Kennesaw State.
Oh wow. Okay.
So pitching coach called me and he was like, I can't, I'm not gonna like, force you or recruit you, but I just want to let you know that I'm, going to Kennesaw State. And so kind of took me back a couple steps. And so I just thought about it and he was like, call me if you ever, are interested. And so I ended up calling him, I think a couple days later, and I was like, so what's the deal with Kennesaw? I'd never heard of it before, to be honest. And he gave me the rundown. I think I committed in August. School started in the end of August. I
Oh
never went
wow.
down there to visit, kind of just took a guess to go. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's how I kind of ended up there.
Is Kennesaw State in Tennessee?
North Atlanta, or north of Atlanta by 15, 20 minutes in
Oh,
Georgia.
I
So,
was way off.
Yeah, I mean, if you had asked me 3 years ago, I wouldn't have known either. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then what was the skill level going like from SMSU, then going up to Kennesaw State and playing there? Were you kind of used to it? Was it a little bit of a step? Or I guess what was that adjustment period like for you? Or did you go into it like it was another day at the office?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a jump. I mean, we had some really competitive players at SMSU that, played well. Definitely could have probably played at a higher level.
Yeah,
But going there is just all around the board, especially pitching wise. Everybody threw hard, hitters hit pumps. Um, just the size of guys, people were a lot bigger, stronger, faster. The intensity was a lot, you know, a lot more a lot more intense for sure.
yeah,
Practices were different. We practiced a lot. We scrimmaged a lot more than we did at Division II school. Yeah, I mean, it was kind of eye-opening experience knowing like, I came from a school that, we have about maybe 3,000 kids going to a school with, 40,000. We had 54 guys on the team when I got to Kennesaw. They were running cuts just because of a new coaching staff that was coming in. So,
sure.
I mean, it was a lot, kind of a whirlwind and kind of a crazy experience, but it worked out.
Absolutely. So now we'll kind of shift into the town ball side of things now here. Um, so from what I understand, this was your first year ever playing town ball. Is that correct?
At first year out since being done with college, I played for
Okay.
a Class A team from my high school, or
Okay.
the Northwest Orioles. Played for them for a little bit. I never pitched well. I
Yeah.
was always getting a beating, but this was like my first town ball game in probably 5, 6 years.
Okay.
So.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Um, so what was that like then? Obviously, so having played it before and then having that big chunk of time off, was it kind of what you remembered it being like, or did things kind of change a little bit, or what was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Waconia, just definitely the atmosphere of the fans, and I
Yeah.
mean, it was fun playing with four former college teammates and Max Kallenberg, Robbie Smith, Jake Hendricks.
Yeah.
So it was fun playing with those guys again, and yeah, I think the atmosphere at that, especially at the Class C level, and that and the Crow is just something that I didn't experience in my previous times playing town ball. So that's, yeah, I mean, that was something I didn't expect at all, and I enjoyed it. And there's a lot of fun nights.
The college teammates, is that what brought you to Waconia?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of live within the 30-mile radius, kind of in the Minneapolis area, and I was kind of looking for a team to play for, and I wanted to play on a team that, I knew people, and Waconia just had the kind of had all the former teammates. I was like, might as well give it a shot.
Because you're from like what, Orono?
I grew up in Plymouth, went to Osseo High School,
Ah,
and I live in like the Minnetonka area now.
right. Yeah, Waconia has a gorgeous baseball field too, so that's
Mhm.
always positive.
Yeah, absolutely. So diving into the game a little bit. Now before the season started, I was reading the little article that Nick Gerhardt did. You kind of let him know like you Labor Day weekend, like you weren't going to be there. It was, I'm with you the whole season, but Labor Day weekend I wasn't going to be there. Obviously for your twin brother's bachelor party, which I'm sure was probably a pretty decent time. I could imagine. Um, so what then changed from going to, hey, I won't be there at all to, yeah, I can be there on that Sunday championship or Monday championship Monday. What happened there?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of me not understanding how the state tournament worked. I didn't think we'd put on Monday, or maybe I looked at the Class B schedule and saw I was on
Oh,
Sunday.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, kind of as we got closer and I saw I was like I think what, noon game or 1 o'clock game on Monday, and kind of looking at the schedule, I was like, all right, there's a chance, and watching the games and kind of seeing, all right, we beat Bemidji, we beat Buffalo, Bird Island. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, well, I guess I got to get back and got to pitch.
Yeah, and some great performances too from the draftees that you guys had to get you to that point. I mean, just that must have been pretty cool to see from a distance. Probably tough, like not being able to actually be there and cheer on the guys since you've been with them all season, but also like, yeah, I mean, these guys are balling out without me, so that's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, no, it was. And getting to know Trich and Dent and playing with Dulas before, I mean, those guys are all great guys.
Yeah,
I mean, they were very supportive, and I think it'd be tough to come in and kind of pitch in that situation as a draftee, knowing,
Right.
you got a lot of pressure on you, and they all contributed and did I mean, really, really great job.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's dive into the game a little bit itself here. I mean, we're dealing pretty early on. The first thing I want to mention, Jake Hendricks before the two-run bomb that he hit was 0 for 10. So was struggling in the state tournament. Obviously, you trusted him, the coach trusted him, or else he wouldn't be in the lineup. So to get that two-run bomb very early into the game, I mean, talk about a momentum boost from the get-go, but also that had to have felt unbelievable for him and for you guys too. So what was that like to get that production from him right away from when the game started?
Yeah, I mean, Jake's an experienced hitter. I mean, I think he was just kind of like, waiting for that time to come. I don't think any of us were really worried. It's not like we didn't want him in the lineup. I mean, seen him hit some balls that year. Just can't believe it.
Yeah.
And no, I think, yeah, I mean, Jake put together an amazing hit there, and it kind of gives us, that early morale boost and kind of confidence going forward in that game where it's like, all right, we got the early lead, it kind of settles your nerves a little bit. Jake kind of brought us together there and kind of set the tone, I would say, for the game. And um, it's definitely better when it's on your end and instead of letting that up. It can definitely, momentum shifts definitely can hurt you. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
And
believe
then,
that was first pitch. He did not miss that ball.
oh yeah, holy
no,
cow.
I don't
no,
think there's any doubt about that one.
yeah,
Yeah, we were sitting right along the first base line watching that game. Yeah, he absolutely murdered that ball. That was awesome. That was
yeah.
very cool to see. Um, and then throughout the whole game, you guys were able to scatter 14 hits. So the bats were there, but it just couldn't quite get them around. I mean, it was pretty, I think I saw 11 people left on base throughout the whole game. And then obviously ended up breaking through and getting a couple more at the end of the game as well, too. Um, Brandon Arnold obviously manufacturing the one run to make it a 2-1 game. So then what's your mindset 2-1 and kind of staying at 2-1 for most of the game? I mean, obviously not give up a hit, not give up a run, but as a pitcher having a 2-0 lead versus a 2-1 lead, what's kind of that mindset for you out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just kind of limiting the mistakes, kind of just staying locked into, almost treating it as a 0-0 ball game
Yeah.
because you have to do whatever you can just to kind of not give them that chance. Anything can happen in the game of baseball, or especially in a championship game.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of, yeah, taking it as cliche as it sounds, literally one pitch at a time or
Right.
one out at a time, one inning, kind of just doing that and just like getting out of the inning, just kind of let it loose in the dugout and just relax, do whatever you need. But once you go back out there, really lock in. And um, I mean, I had guys joking around with me in the dugout a little bit. I was having fun. And then once we got out to the field, you just locked in, you spend your 5-10 minutes pitching and get back in the dugout.
I have to ask one thing, and forgive me for asking, but Arnold, Lucas said Arnold, manufactured that run. I mean, he did advance on it. I think get a steal and a wild pitch, but did you balk? And if so, what did he say you did? I'm gonna be honest with you. I know baseball pretty well, but I don't know. Balks have always confused me. I'll
Yeah.
believe you with what you say, and
Yep.
thankfully you guys ended up winning, so nothing was bad. But I didn't really see what you did, if anything.
Yeah. I
So I
mean,
was curious.
yeah, I mean those guys did a great job all game, I thought,
Yeah,
all the way
absolutely.
around. So there's no hate to them at all. They did a great job. But yeah, I think he said I was moving forward or kind of going towards home. I watched it back probably 50 times, and I guess I'd beg to differ. But it's hard. It's a
Very
judgment
close.
call. Can't really. I mean,
And like I said, I didn't see anything, but it happened so fast. I'm like, I guess I don't know. I'm like,
yeah. I
wasn't
mean,
really sure.
yeah, I was pretty upset right away. But I mean, it is what it is. They called it. There's really nothing you can do to reverse it. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I would disagree, but at the same time, that's their call. If he saw something, maybe it was. So I can't really argue that.
Right.
Oh,
Yep. Tough spot. I know I certainly could not be out there doing that. That's for sure.
oh
For
yeah,
sure.
they did a fine job. That's for sure.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. And then end of the game, you guys tagged on a few more, made it a 5-1 game. No hitter is still preserved here going into the ninth inning. So I have to ask you, obviously, throwing a no hitter was it the weekend before, I believe.
Mhm.
Are you and now they interview it in MLB, every league in baseball. They always ask them like, "When did you know?" And they're like, "Oh, I had no idea the whole game." And it's like, I mean, yeah, I mean, you happen to look at the score every once. I don't know, but what about you? Did you know you had a no hitter? And if you did, then I mean, I could imagine it's got to be tough to go out there like want to win a game, but I mean, I don't want to give up a hit either. Obviously, it's not about you at all, but I'm sure it's in the back of your mind a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, I knew going into the last inning I had one.
Yeah.
But kind of my mindset was like, that would be a cherry on top. It'd be cool if it happened.
Yep.
The main thing is kind of winning the game, winning the championship, and kind of taking care of business there. But yeah, I mean, for guys that say they don't know, I'm pretty sure you do know because
Oh yeah.
those scoreboards are too big for you not to look at. So
Well, going back to the prior weekend, I think you were at least 17 innings in a row without a hit, right? I mean, that's
yeah,
insane.
yeah. I guess I haven't really thought about that too much, but yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, yeah. I did
That
walk.
is
I
that is
did
quite
walk.
impressive.
Yeah, yeah. I did walk a few guys, which I know guys on my team know I don't like walking guys, but
Freebies.
yeah. I mean, yeah, with or without the walks, still, excited that I was able to do that or have
How
that
many
kind of streak.
pitches did you throw that championship game? Do you know?
I think I threw 148.
I was
So
gonna say because I'm like, by about seventh inning, I'm like, gosh, he's got to be close to 100. I'm like, he's had like 20 strikeouts alone. That's 60 pitches there. They're all strikes. I'm like, so yeah, 148 sounds about right. I knew it was a lot. I'm like, I don't think it matters. I don't think he's coming out. I just am curious what he's at.
Yeah.
yeah,
Cool. And then so going into the ninth thing, I'm not wearing a hat right now, but if I was, I'd give a massive hat tip to Ronnie Olson, man. That diving catch he had at second base. When Beckman got a piece of that ball, I'm like, that might I I think that might drop. And then just an unbelievable full extension layout catch at second base. I mean, that had to have been pretty amazing. Obviously, in the championship game, you want to go out nonetheless, but to have the 4-run lead and then to also preserve the no hitter, I mean, that's pretty cool to see your guys throwing their body on the line for that.
yeah. I mean, Ronnie has made some crazy plays throughout the year. I mean, he's got, I think, some of the quickest hands I've seen turning double play. So,
Sure.
I mean, it's him to fun to watch him and Tanner Adams up the middle making plays. Throughout the whole season, those guys are those guys are dogs. They get after it, and they're not afraid to dive for a ball or make it get dirty. I mean, they kind of do it all on both sides of the field.
Yeah. No, that was unbelievable. And then Joe Lucas getting the double. So to get the first hit of the game now, got a runner at second. He obviously ends up scoring. And they ended up actually getting the bases loaded too. So now you go from okay, we have a 3-run lead. I don't have the no hitter, bases loaded. You're just like, I'm going for that. I mean, I got to go for him, right? We're giving them empty in the tank here. Pitches 146, 7 and 8. Let's do this thing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think earlier in the regions we were playing Young America, and I kind of had similar game. We're up 2-1. I ended up kind of blowing it in that last inning. So I kind of learned from that experience, and kind of felt comfort in that.
Yeah.
That this is what happened. Now it's time to prove to yourself that you can get out on the right side of things,
Mhm.
and obviously it creeps in your head a little bit, like. I mean, this you could send this ball out of the park, and
That's all she
the whole
wrote.
town of Jordan, the whole town of Jordan might come on the
That
field. So
that would have been something. Holy
yeah,
smokes!
I mean, but yeah, I mean they put up a good fight till the end. I mean, I kind of walked a handful of guys. We had kind of a cue ball shot to AJ, which was one of the craziest balls I think I've seen put in play.
Yeah.
That hopped
I,
all over the place.
Yeah, that
Um,
was something.
but no, yeah, I think just having that confidence, sticking to kind of what I was doing all season, or kind of just like the belief of, this is where I'm going to put it, this is where I'm going to throw it. We got guys that can make plays, and Sam called a great game behind the plate. I
yeah.
mean, all season he's done a great job. So, made the right pitch, and I may be a little lucky on that last strike three call, but strike's a strike.
Yep.
I was curious. Graham wasn't too happy with it, but it looked pretty good. I'm like, it definitely looked close enough.
Yeah.
What you said, he called a great game. What pitches do you throw?
Yeah, so I'm primarily kind of forcing fastball, curveball, and sprinkling a change up here and there.
Okay.
Absolutely. Um, so then going to Jordan, playing against Jordan, you have like you mentioned, entire town of Jordan watching this game. First off, I would like to give a massive applause to the Waconia fans. I mean, granted, we were right in the section, so we couldn't not hear them, but I mean, hat tip to them. They were unbelievable the entire game, and I could only imagine that's probably how they were the entire season too. But I guess was that, did you go into that? Was that tough at all for you, knowing that, hey, the team we're playing, it's their home park championship game, have all the fans? Or for you, was it just like, this is what's given to us? Who cares? Let's go out and do something.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it kind of was, I would say I wasn't too nervous. I just feel like, if you're going to that game super nervous, it's not going to help you a whole lot.
Yeah.
And I think one thing that kind of helped with that is that I pitched against Jordan earlier in the year.
Oh,
They came to our ballpark, middle
I
of the
didn't realize
season.
that.
So I mean, it's not like I remembered a whole lot, but from what I did, I mean, Lucas hit a home run off me, hit the top of the wall. Props to him for that.
Well, he's pretty
Um,
darn good.
yeah, he's a great player. But I think when what I learned from that previous game was they were pretty patient. They had good eye. They could swing it. So I definitely, I mean, I struggled that game. I think 5 innings. I had 100 pitches. I think they had 2 or 3 runs. So kind of knowing some of their guys having that familiarity kind of gave me a little comfort going into that game, knowing like, all right, I've seen these guys before. If I attack the zone, get ahead, which I didn't do in that first game against them, I think I can be pretty successful.
gotcha. Yeah, I guess I didn't realize they came to you, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, see him twice and then see him in the championship too. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Um, I guess overall, from the run that you guys had from the beginning of the season, when it first started to obviously ended up winning it, the cherry on top is you guys winning it. But what are some of the big memories that you're really going to take from the whole season? I'm sure things are going to stick a lot more because you won it. But what were some of your personal favorite moments throughout the year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah,
I don't know. I think one of the craziest things was like the first 5 games I was there, hanging out, whether pitching or not. I think Justin Schultz got walked about, I want to say it was like 20 times in like 7, 8 games, which is one of the
wow,
craziest things I've seen. Um,
Wow.
I guess kind of in that Montgomery game, Robbie Smith kind of fell down. I think he lost his glove in that first inning, got back up and caught the ball.
Oh
Um, that
my.
was that was kind of a crazy moment that, I mean, saved the no-hitter in the first inning. Not that we knew that was going to happen, but
right.
you never know. I mean, that was a crazy play. Hendricks hit a ball with the wind a little bit at Waconia that was absolutely crushed. I think we mapped it out at like maybe 4:30 on Google Earth, but
Wow.
those are just some of the highlights,
Sweet.
and just kind of hanging out with the guys after game was, always fun. And I mean, all the older guys, younger guys would kind of stick around, just hang out and, get to know all these guys more on a personal level, get to know who their families are, their kids that would hang out in the dugout, stuff like that. So I guess kind of everything wrapped into, each other. And it was kind of good experience overall, a lot of good memories.
Uh, One other thing I'd like to ask. So like, and you basically already answered it, but I was gonna say like, you pitched, Division 1, Kennesaw State against LSU. Like you pitched in some big games. Um, did that help you prepare for this championship game? I don't know where you'd like, rank this as far as like how big this game is compared to anything you did, but like, do you just do everything the same? Just say, hey, it's another game, warm up the same as always, and call it good, or what? Because I know, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, you still know it's a state championship, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna be upset, if I struggle or lose the game. But yeah, I mean, I think I've matured a little bit as a pitcher for sure over the years. So I mean, those are big moments. I mean, I would definitely rank it up there with, one of the kind of the best atmospheres I've played in. The regional we had at Southern Miss was probably, I mean, it was unbelievable, the kind of the crowd there and
Yeah,
the heckling, the support, stuff like that. So, I mean, when they're yelling ball 7 at you, it's kind of hard to throw a strike. So,
yeah, for sure, for sure. And you kind of alluded to it a couple answers ago here too, but another question I kind of like to ask people who are involved with Townball. I kind of bring up the same points, but when I tell people, I play Townball or participate with it, I don't think, people who don't know baseball or aren't familiar with it in Minnesota don't really know what it is. And so they don't really know how to think about it. I've gotten like the next question, like, oh, is it similar to like, like beer league softball or something like that? So you personally, and there's no right or wrong answer, but if people ask you that question, what is town ball? What's kind of your go-to answer for them?
That's tough because I know I've been asked that too, and it's just a
Yeah.
hard, or they really try to compare it to things that it's like, it's not it's not that, but I don't know. I guess the best way I'd give it is just, it's like kind of the whole state or every small town kind of coming together, putting together your best team, kind of competing every week, every weekend, and
Yeah.
it's more so kind of I don't want to say family oriented, but a lot of these
That's a
small
big
towns
part of
are
it. Yeah.
family, bunch of family on the team. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know the best answer to that, but
Yeah.
definitely it's a more kind of relaxed and I guess I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say
No,
vintage, but it's really not
yeah.
vintage.
No, that's a great answer. It's a
Yeah.
tough question for sure. I mean, I don't even know how to answer it most of the time. I feel like I change it every time someone asks. Um, So then, a lot of times, again, another question I've asked too is a lot of people in sports talk about their like their welcome to the league moment or something like that. I'm sure you've heard that phrase tossed around before. So kind of off of that, but when did you have your entrance to town ball, like, hey, this is like like you don't know how to describe it, but you can feel that this is something different from what I've ever done before. And whether it was, when you played 5, 6 years ago with your other team, or maybe somewhere along the ride in Waconia this year, but did you ever have that moment when you like kind of realized, like, yeah, this isn't just like a Sunday league baseball, like this is pretty sweet, like completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It'd be hard to point something out, I guess, but I mean, for sure, like early on, kind of like those away games where, our fans traveled pretty well on the weekend, and so did the other team's fans show out. I think as probably at Fritz Field in Cologne, they had a fireworks show, and I was like, all right, this is pretty sick. Like I wouldn't expect this at a town ball game, so it kind of opened my eyes a little more. To be honest, I was never always sold on town ball just because my prior experiences. I just didn't
Sure.
have the best no hate against those guys, but it just
Right.
was, not the right place and not the right fit, I guess. But yeah, no, for sure, Waconia and kind of that Fritz Field game at Cologne was definitely something that was fun. Didn't even I think I pinch ran or something, but yeah, it was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. No, that's cool. I think everyone's answer is a little different to that, but no, that's pretty sweet that you came into it, pretty excited. And I mean, boy, what better to bring you back than winning a title? I mean, holy cow, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Um, so I think we've kind of reached a towards the end of the point here with our road, John. Is there anything that you want to bring up? Anything you want to mention, plug that maybe we didn't bring up? You want to chat about? And so floors for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, just appreciate you guys having me on, and it's good chatting with you guys, kind of getting to know you a little bit before this. So nothing I really want to shout out. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Open invite whenever you want to come on. Maybe we'll get you before next season. Talk about the air house going and all that too. That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Sounds good.
Um, Awesome, folks. Well, certainly follow myself, Nick, John on the Twitter. I'll add all you guys on there too, so folks can know where to find you. But I brought it up before, guys. Everyone, go out there, go watch a town ball game. If you live in Minnesota, I guarantee there's a town somewhere close to you that has a baseball team, and watch it. And then when you get to the end of the year, get to the state tournament games, man. It's an unbelievable atmosphere, unbelievable environment. Um,
I
but
think they said there was 2,200 people at the state championship,
I believe it.
something like
I
that.
believe it. It's awesome. That's awesome. But anyways, folks, as for myself, Nick, John, until next time, we are out.